Hi, I'm doing a series about how we might be able to get a little bit more of certain behaviors from our friendships. Because we're assuming that our friends love us and are doing the very best they can, but there's something to be said for helping us have conversations or doing things that help say, yes, I love it when you do that. That helps us know what our friends love and need in our friendships. And one of the ones that I thought would be fun to do, I've heard from many of you, is how do I get my friends to affirm me more? Positivity, the positive emotions are often a low area in our relationships, unfortunately. And most of us are drawn to friendships wanting to feel better about ourselves. But it's really easy to walk away feeling insecure or to feel judged or to just kind of feel like they didn't really see us. And so one of the most powerful things we can do is affirm each other, name what we love about each other, express that admiration. But not everybody's comfortable doing it. And so for those of us who want more of that, who love being loved in that way, let's talk about what we can do to help invite more love, expressed love, into our friendships. The first one is a common theme you'll always hear me say, and it is affirm it when it does happen. And so listen carefully, because there are little compliments in there here and there. And when you hear one, grab it. Grab it and to say, thank you for that. I love hearing that. It means so much to me. And we can even say, thank you so much for that affirmation. I sometimes feel like that's an area of insecurity for me, so it means a lot to hear you say that. Or maybe they're affirming us as parents, and we can say, oh, thank you so much. I never hear that enough. It's a thankless job, so hearing it from my friends means so much. Sometimes we can just say, thank you. I really means a lot to me. I have words of affirmation as my love language. And so it's one of my favorite things to hear my friends affirm me. All of those are fabulous. And what it does is it puts it in their brain. Oh, Shasta likes words of affirmation. Okay, I want to make her happy. I'm going to remember that. And so we want to inform. It's a way of teaching our friends what we love. And sometimes when we can give the reason why it means something or what result it has in our lives, it helps it stand out a little bit more. So it's not just thanks for that, but it actually, and we're doing it in such a way where we're actually affirming them, right? Because they just thanked us. They just appreciated something. And so it's a beautiful way to be able to say that you already did, I love it and I want more. And so express affirmation as big as you can, as often as you can. A second way of invoking more expressed appreciation in our lives is to ask for follow-up specifics. This one's a good tool to learn. It doesn't come naturally to most of us. I learned it from a girlfriend who I went and heard speak. And at the end of her speaking, I went up to her and said, "Oh, great job." And her response to me, she said, "Oh, I'm so glad you liked it. What specifically stood out to you?" And I was like, oh, well, I loved when da 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 da. And so it was this really beautiful moment where she asked for more information. She asked for me to follow up with what I loved more specifically. And it gave me an opportunity to be more clear and to process it more and to express that. And so we both walked away feeling even better about that shared moment. And we can do that with our friends. When they affirm us and just say, oh, you're such a good mom, you're such a good dad, we can easily say, oh, thank you. What prompted you to say that? When they talk about how much they admire how we can just get out there and do whatever, live adventurously, we can ask and say, what is it that you see that inspires you to say that or that makes you think that I'm that way? When they say, oh, you look beautiful, we can say, thank you. What did you notice? And these are ways that we can ask follow-up questions that are genuine and that allow for a little bit more clarity for us, that we walk away feeling more seen. And it's really important. You know, I'm a speaker or as an author. If people are just like, I liked your book or great job, I would be like, thanks. But it's so much more meaningful when we can say, oh, what jumped out to you in that book? Or, oh, what exactly did you love? And for them to have the chance to say that, it's so meaningful. And I think sometimes we're afraid of doing that because we have this kind of dumb, like fishing for compliments. We are all out there fishing for love, everything we do. We put clothes on, we get certain jobs, we think our body image needs to be a certain way. I mean, we want to be loved by each other. There's nothing wrong with saying, let's be clear that we want love, absolutely. I think we can take some of the shame away for fishing for compliments. Yes, so we are. We all need more of it. So whatever we can do to help invoke that in each other, absolutely. And we're not doing it arrogantly. We're doing it with curiosity and with a desire to also be more specific when we talk to them. And this is a good way. We're friends. We can practice this with each other. So ask for follow-up specifics. Dare you to try that one this week. And speaking of curiosity, the third way that I think we can practice invoking more affirmation in our lives is to think about having a conversation, but kind of starting it with curiosity. Because it would probably feel a little awkward to just sit down and say, I wish you affirmed me more. But rather, what if we could have a conversation that basically opens up the door for us to learn about what leaves them feeling more loved and for them to learn about what leaves us feeling more loved. One way in is I've often asked my girlfriends, hey, have you ever heard of the 5 love languages? Have you ever taken it? I'd love to know what yours is. And sometimes they've heard of it, sometimes they haven't. And I'll say, yeah, the premise is that we all give and receive love in certain ways. There's words of affirmation, there's acts of service, there's quality time, there's gift giving, and there's physical touch. And yeah, which ones, like, what can people do that leave you feeling the most loved? And then listen and be curious. And it's great to hear them talk about what leaves them feeling better. And inevitably, they'll ask what ours is, or we can say, yeah, I really got into it because it really landed for me because words of affirmation is one of mine. I just love it when my friends express their appreciation for me. And so that's a great conversation. We walk away learning about each other. Another way in is to say, oh, I read this book on friendship that talked about how we need to have 5 positive emotions for every negative emotion. And it got me thinking about our friendship and like what else could we do to keep raising the positive emotions? And what are some of the things I do that help you feel the most positive? And I would love to know that so I can keep doing more of it. And it's modeling, we're role modeling for them that it's okay that we ask these things of each other and to share these things. We're friends after all. We want to know how to love each other. So let's help each other. Let's have that conversation. And so we can always show up with more curiosity to have a conversation about our relationship. That is one of the most bonding things in a relationship. We do it with dating. We'll end up, at the beginning it's who are you and who am I? And you know that the relationship is developing when we can talk about the us, like the meta conversation about the relationship that we have together. And this is one of those great things in friendship is to not only have it be your updates and my updates, but our relationship and what are we doing to love each other better. So a really, really beautiful way is to be able to express that and open and initiate that conversation. And then of course, at the end, thank her for having that conversation with you. And so I hope that you feel so much more loved in your relationships, that you find those moments, that you embrace them and relish them, that when you do hear that love, that you receive it, hold it, cherish it, and give it back. Our friendships all need so much more affirmation, and so let's be people who help make that happen.